Hey everybody, and how's it going? Welcome to a very special bait shop talk. We have Timmy all the way from California. We
Hey
got
guys.
Mike, longtime friend. Mike would get out the house, go fish. We haven't seen in a while. Me and Bubba from fresh off the water. Not exactly the best day. And please, everybody, welcome Chip. Chip, the sinker guy, as a lot of you guys might know, our resident surf fishing expert here. Chip, say hi to everybody.
Hello. Excited.
Live from the surf cave.
We're coast to coast
Yes.
in this thing, man.
Oh, man, that's
Sure.
right. We're coast to coast. For those who don't know, Timmy is no longer here in Florida with us. He is now living the Cali life over there in California, doing gym videos and surfing and wearing the flat brim hats.
Oh, and I haven't worn a hat yet, so don't give
yes,
me that
you have.
yet.
I've
I have
seen
not.
it. It
No,
was
you
a flat
haven't.
brim hat.
No, the only hats that I still have are fishing related. And even though I can't catch a fish, I can at least pretend I am. Like, So I'm wearing, my FX shirt, lying to everybody, saying I catch fish.
So we got the insight. If you ever thought about going out to California just to take a fishing trip, we have firsthand insight of what you have to do to go fishing in California.
Don't even come out here. Don't even come out here.
So guys, it should be a good show. If you're like us, go ahead and grab you a beverage and get comfortable and settle in. And if you got any questions, feel free in the chat. Let us know where you're watching it from tonight. So check us out over there. We already got a thumbs down. I bet that was probably Chip.
Damn it, Chip. You got us our first thumbs down.
It's first thumbs down ever on Bait Shop Talk. That's when you know you made it big, is when you got trolls. And Bubba has the newest edition of the Bubba family. We got Bubette.
Yeah, you guys will have to excuse me if I'm in and out or up and down making noise. We got the new one here. She's 2 months old now, and big, fat, chunky thing. But she's good. She's nice.
Yep. She's just like her daddy.
Yeah.
So, Timmy, tell us like California. Tell us all like for real. Tell us what all you have to do to go fishing in California.
Okay, so it's honestly the most pain in the butt situation. But first, you have to leave your house. And then after that, you have to make sure that the lake is actually open. You have to go into the building to make sure it's open. First, they verify that you have a fishing license, which is $50 here, and it's just for freshwater. Then and they don't have like how in Florida we had the sports whatever it is, and that's what I had. You have to buy them individually here. It's expensive. So once they verify that, then you have to pay for a permit to fish that specific lake. And you're also only allowed to have a certain amount of rods in the water. If you bring your own boat, it has to get inspected before you can to make sure that you're not implementing bad things into the water. And then that's pretty much it. But honestly, fishing out here is completely different. It's the exact opposite as it is over there in Florida. I mean, there it's shallow and it's dark. Here it's deep and it's clear. And you just don't know what they're doing out here. I mean, I physically saw bass just right next to me. They just weren't doing anything. But a lot of people out here are going for trout. They're not really going for bass. So, I mean, I can't catch one anyway, so it don't really matter. But, yeah, that's what it's like out here in Florida, guys. It's the complete opposite of Florida.
So, Mike, I know you've been battling jellyfish crabs and whatnot out there on the beach and been hitting the surf fishing pretty hard. So why don't you tell us what you've been up to?
Yeah, I'm trying to just learn a little bit more about surf fishing. I always seem to struggle with it. And actually went out with Louis just the other day, and he was kind of showing me what things I was doing wrong. And so, I mean, that was a big help. I don't know. I just posted that video. I went over
so what all
a few
did
things.
you learn from Louis?
Like I was putting. Well, just the way he was putting the bait on, because I thought that if I was using shrimp, I wasn't even using shrimp because every time I'd use it, I'd throw it off. The sand spikes I was using, I was putting those in wrong. So it wasn't in the video, but one of my poles went in and I had to go in after it, and it was floating off.
God.
Just stuff like it was Friday the 13th too, so I was like,
good omen.
And I was actually casting the I had one of Chip's Sputnik weights on there, I cast that out and it flew off, and I'm just like, wow, that's a great cast, you know. And as it's flying off,
It's like, yeah, that's some serious distance.
so like, yeah, that's great. But I'm like, oh. So I went up on my leader. I went 30 pounds now.
When you think you're going again?
I mean, there's a lot of things. I'm gonna try to go out Thursday.
Really? See, like, I don't know. I was wanting to go
Use
Wednesday.
up a few things.
I was wanting to go Wednesday, but now they're saying there's going to be a big storm coming through, and it's going to be hitting Tuesday and Wednesday. And Thursday is supposed to be a southeast wind. And remember how we were talking before? It seems like south winds and Florida fish don't get along. So I might push my luck and still try to go Wednesday. Chip, what you been up to, man?
Yeah, so
Give us a surf report.
I love when people say they're not going fishing because that's when the fish are biting, man. That's when the fish start to bite, and that's the big thing is in the surf world, it's so different than inshore, and it's you got to just know the water you're around. I mean, I live right in the middle of Jacksonville, so I can go south or I can go north, and to find some good clean water. Not South Florida clean water, but Jacksonville clean water. So when you're looking at those different winds, you just have to know where to go at those days, and that's really the big thing is knowing where to go on those big days when you are free to go fishing. I guess that's the big one. So I've got today went out this morning and got some nice big black drum and big surf black drum, 21, 22 inches. And then guy next to me caught a redfish, black drum, and a pompano, all in the same spot on shrimp. I don't fish a lot of shrimp, but it's one of those things where, hey, it worked for him. And, it's the surf's on fire right now. The whiting here in Jacksonville bite is amazing. You fill your cooler pretty quick if you needed to.
Yeah. I checked the surf temp in Fernandina. Said it was
out, they're
63.
out there like an hour.
Yeah, I was in Amelia Island State Park today. I don't think it was 63. It's probably 61 by the touching of my toes, but it wasn't quite warm enough to be 63 or 64. But it was definitely good enough for redfish and black drum and occasional big pompano. So
yeah, that's where you at Nassau Sound. That's my stomping grounds when it comes to surf fishing. I don't have a cart. And I'm lazy. I don't like carrying everything. So I like being able to just drive out there on the beach. And usually since it's a 4x4 only park, there's not that many people there.
Hello from Italy.
Yeah.
Crap.
That's a great point you're making because Huguenot's shut down right now. So everybody thought if they had an SUV today that they could drive on the beach. There were so many stuck cars, SUVs. There was five trucks trying to get one truck out there. I'm just like, well, that's not good.
Well, so, me and Bubba have been there with the 5 trucks trying to get one out.
I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about.
So,
Bubba thought he could make it with his 2-wheel drive Dodge, and that just turned into a big fiasco.
Oh yeah.
But that's my favorite place to go. I've caught some nice pompano. Tim was there when they threw a legal pompano back, which I ready to punch somebody when I got back after that because I had to pull Bubba out, so I blame both of them.
I wanted to punch myself after that for believing in that guy.
I have a ruler on the cooler chip, right, and it has a picture of a pompano, and underneath it says bag limit 11 inches. And that guy that Tim was with was like, oh, no, they got to be 12. And then threw back a perfectly legal pompano that was 11 and a half.
Well, one of the great things about a 12-inch pompano, when you catch a 17, 18-inch one, it's not really a fish. It's this thick, and the real fish are like that thick.
Right. That's how I feel about flounder. Like, what's it? The limit for flounder is 12 inches. I throw them back because it's like you can read right through them. They're so thin on meat. I like about a 15.
Fillet them too.
Right. I like a 15-inch flounder or bigger, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I know a lot of other states that is the limit. Is 15 inches. Fella, who we lost? We lost Bubba. He said he'll be in and out, so I'm sure he'll join us. And we got Chip's smiling face frozen there in the corner. So I guess us three is going to have to hold it down for right now. Oh, no, Chip's back. Let's see here. Let's see. Looks like we got us a comment here. He said, just came back from Princess Preserve in Palm Coast. You guys know the place. I think you you've been down there, Mike?
You gaze. Dang it.
Yeah,
Did he?
I fish down there.
He's talking about you, Timmy, out there in California.
Lies. Pretty boy over there in Florida.
Might be Mike with that flowing hair over his visor there.
Guys, I'm not actually in California right now. I flew all the way to Jacksonville
visor.
for this video, and then I'm flying back later.
Be a hell of a flight. Oh, you can't fly, ain't right? They got
Can't
shut
even
down.
fly right now. Everything's shut down. I can't go to a restaurant.
That's a good point, though, guys. Like, be careful out there with all this coronavirus craze going on. If you have to brave the stores and stuff, just be careful going out there in public. It is a madhouse. That's what was one good thing about the little lake me and Bubba went to. Me and him went to their old phosphate pits in White Springs called Eagle Lake and Lang Lake. Beautiful lake, cypress trees. If you're a bass fisherman, that is. Cypress trees, hydrilla, cattails, all kinds of stuff. It's just hard to get a bite. I did end up catching my first hybrid striped bass today, and one turned into two, and two turned into three. Then we got the GoPro cameras out, and cause we thought we were on a bite, and the bite shut down. So that ended that little video. I know right now we only got like 7 folks in here, but we're going to do something a little different tonight here on Bait Shop Talk. We're going to do a giveaway. So I didn't want to make an announcement. I wanted to get the folks that actually watch this stuff to get on here and get a chance to win this giveaway. There's going to be a trivia question at the end of the video. If you get the trivia question right, you just leave your answer over there in the comments. And it's not like a trick question, and you can't Google it. You have to go in either mine or Bubba's channel to find the answer. But giveaway tonight, went and stopped and picked up a couple of things. Thanks to Get Out the House, Go Fish for sharing some information on some good deals. We got some Havoc, Berkeley Havoc baits. Let's see, what is this one right here? This is their Crawl Fatty Junior. It's like either a punching bait or a crawl bait. And then we got their Bottom Hopper, which is like a finesse worm. This is June bug color. And last but not least, we got a Yozuri lipless crankbait. And this is the same color that I was catching all my bass on in Kissimmee for the tournament I fished down there in Lake Kissimmee. And Timmy was there too. He remembers it. Mm-hmm. He even got to get him a couple and come in second place there in the classic on throwing a lipless crank. So, guys, stick around for the end of the chat. Your chance to win that giveaway, and we'll ask the question at the end of the chat. Also, I got to thank Chip. Chip had a video about salted clams, and what I liked about it was he didn't just show what he does. He showed other companies like this company here, Original Native Salt Baits. I had no idea they even existed. That's how bad I am about that. Surf fishing and fishing with clams and stuff. So I watched Chip's video. I said, dude, let me go check them out. And so when I go surf fishing, probably either Wednesday or Thursday, I'm going to give these a try and see how I do. So I'll have one rod with salted baits, another rod with shrimp and whatever. I always like the fish to tell me what they want.
Well, that's a good point. Is I have a set here too.
Oh man, twinsies.
Yes. One of the things is I like to fish a lot of different baits, and Killian, who is the owner of that company, came up and fished with me. And I'll tell you, I didn't use anything except the fleas and the clams. And we caught 23 whiting in a little under 2 hours. And the bite was unreal on them. They worked. So that's the good thing is you can do all the work you want on salt on your own, but boy, it's a lot easier just to have them delivered to the house. So,
Chip, how often do whiting eat the sand fleas? Like when I think fishing sand fleas, I think reds, drum, pompano, like crustacean eaters. I don't really think whiting on sand fleas.
Yeah, they love sand fleas too. But the clam's kind of the bigger bite most of the time.
Okay.
At this time of year, just because of the little donut clams are on the beach right now, so there's not a lot of sand fleas showing up for them to eat. So unless you're a little farther south where the water's a little warmer, so that's the big thing is right now is on Jack's Beach, the beach is on fire because of the little clams on the beach. If you dig, you'll see them in the wash. So why wouldn't you fish with them? If you want to know what they're eating, go ahead and cut a couple of them open, especially pompano. You want to know how to catch the pompano, you open him up right there on the beach and go, oh, he's wanting clams or he's eating sandflies. It's pretty easy to then target the rest of the fish that are with him.
Yeah, every pompano I've cut open, they're like full of periwinkles, like them little tiny clams.
Yep.
So
there's about 6 different names for those darn things. I don't know what they call them.
I've always heard people call them periwinkles or something like that. So that's what I call them, little mini tiny clams or whatever you want to call them. They're
all over on the beach right now.
I didn't know we had the big ones here.
Oh no, we don't. Well, we have little. They're about this big.
Yeah.
There was a clamming season where you could actually clam for them, but I don't know anything about it.
No, I don't even eat clams. I eat what eats the clams.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, sir.
So, Bubba, how would you say today's experience was for you and me going to fish trying to do some bass fishing?
Well, about a month ago, Joe and I went to Rodman on the drawdown.
Now all things will be held to that standard.
It's pretty bad. We're on a bad streak here, really, for bass fishing, which is weird for us. To string them together bad like a off day is not uncommon, but man, that's like 3 in a row for me. I think 4 in a row for Joe. It's just been bad. We hit the river in a tournament. Joe had a tournament the day after. We both washed out of that pretty bad. Went to Pottsburg, was not good there. Caught 1 bass the whole trip there. And then today, the first lake we tried, we should have known there was no locals there. We were the only boat at the ramp. It looked like the place hadn't been mowed in about 6 months. So we packed up about 9 o'clock and went around the corner to Eagle Lake, which we had been to before, and we had not done well on, but both of them just looked super fishy. They're hydrilla lakes. They've got cattail, bulrushes, cypress trees. They pretty much everything but lily pads in both of them. And Joe lost or got bit 3 times by bass today, and that is all the bass that we've seen in 2 trips between the 2 lakes.
Hey, I did get to see one of them at least.
Yeah. But, at least the first time we went out there with the idea of catching those hybrid striped bass. At least he got to catch a few of them today, so now we kind of getting a little better at that, I guess. It's progress, but it wasn't good. And it's not, whenever you got locals there at the lake telling you, I've never seen it this bad, and it's just not a good day.
And Mike, me and Bubba went to Pottsburg Creek. He talked me back into going to Pottsburg. And only thing we got was I got to meet up with Frank, my 1 bass I catch every time that I go there and let him go, and he always comes back to say hi. So that's the only fish that we got. I got him to hit topwater at that. So I don't know. He says like you and him went and y'all caught fish, and him and Timmy went and they caught reds and stuff.
He was catching fish. Yeah, he was catching some fish, but I got skunked that day.
Yeah, and I went with Mike.
I didn't catch anything.
I thought you got a flounder.
Caught a bunch of bass and reds.
No, that was the time before.
Oh, okay.
That was like No, that was okay. You're talking about Pottsburg. Yeah. I'm thinking of Goodby's.
No, not Goodby's. That's I'm talking about when Bubba caught the snook.
I gotcha. Yeah.
That was the main goal that day. We were trying to get
before we even went out there that time. Yeah. And when we went out there and he hooked right into a snook, I was like, damn, surprised me.
So speaking of, sorry, Mike. I forgot to get backtrack here. So speaking of giveaways, I am 6 subscribers away from hitting 5,000 subscribers. And so if I hit 5,000, definitely going to do a giveaway. I've already went and talked to my sponsors. If you guys are fans of the channel, I got Bruiser Baits and Vexen Rods and Real Gear and so on. And to see if they would be willing to pitch in for the giveaway, and Bruiser stepped up to the plate in a big way. So I'll just show you some of the stuff. If we can get 6 people to go over to the Densmore Outdoors channel and subscribe and hit 5,000, we can start this giveaway. So Bass Addiction gear, you got some stick baits, Cinco style baits. You got Bruiser Baits Evil Twins, which are like great trailers. We got Bruiser Bait's new bait that just came out, the Mac Daddy Crawl, which is a great punching weight. And if you guys notice, it's different colors. The orange color is a floating plastisol. So this is what they call their fist fight series. So when this bait hits the bottom, it stands up in a fighting formation. Not magic fingers, fist fight there, Mike. Green
fight.
pumpkin and blue, black and blue, 10-inch curl-tail worms, bruiser bug. My favorite bait that they make is in the crazy crawl. You got the bruiser hog, which is, you can kind of guess what it's like, and that's in the moonlight color. And then we got bruiser hogs and green pumpkin. You guys better get some of these. I am real eager to take some of these myself. So if we can get 6 folks over there
nice. Yeah, someone's going to get a hookup.
Right. And this is just the stuff from Bruiser and Bass Addiction. Like I said, I'm going to try to talk to some of my other sponsors and see if they're willing to pitch in. And also, I know I have a lot of saltwater subscribers who don't even bass fish. Like, I don't see Chip going out there and putting on a bruiser hog and throwing it out there on a surf rig. So I'm going to have to help go and check out and get some saltwater stuff to do a little saltwater pack giveaway as well, if somebody's strictly a saltwater fisherman. So I'm going to take care of you. Dinsmore Outdoors, we're always doing more, even on giveaways.
I got you 10 sinkers from the sinker guy coming your way.
Hey, there you go. Chip's going to throw in 10 sinkers for the saltwater folks, especially, like I said, right now, be perfect. We better hit the 5,000 before the surf fishing goes away, which I don't think it's going away anytime soon. But the Pompano are starting to trickle in, and they're only going to get thicker from here. Chip, you got anything to add to that?
Oh, that's a big. I'm lucky enough. I caught 192 Pompano last year, and normally the water temperature we want to really have it at about 68 degrees, but that's the normal number that people really. That's when you really want to be on the beach. Even the lucky ones can catch a few Pompano when they're that thick, at 68 to 70 degree water. So that's using
the lucky ones.
Some of you will use wire leaders. I don't recommend that, and catch them and think that you're a great fisherman. But I recommend not doing that. The Walmart rigs aren't the key. So,
Timmy, did you hear that? Walmart rigs are not the key.
They always worked for me, always. But out here, nothing works, so it doesn't matter what I use.
Yeah, those Pompano, they're gonna be here, and the whiting are stacking up right now. So that's gonna be the awesome when those Pompano start to show up like the whiting have here. And to be honest, don't when everybody's Pompano fishing, go ahead and go catch yourself a nice redfish black drum, because they're here too. So those black drum bite should be amazing around any inlet or any pier area, and tried to prove that today. So
you want to hear something crazy, Chip? I have yet to catch a black drum surf fishing. I've caught whiting, redfish, jacks, ladyfish, bluefish, everything. I have yet to catch a black drum surf fishing.
Hold on just a second. No.
We just got hooked into a black drum on the surf just last week too. It was like how big was that thing? It's the first time we ever caught a keeper black drum in the surf, because usually
there we go.
1, 2. Oh yeah, that's nice.
21 incher. I don't really keep them over 24. So wrong way. But beautiful fish. Obviously, I let him sit in the sand a little bit, but I got to clean him tonight. But we were able to catch 2 of them, so they're here. So on my channel, I just try to encourage people to fish other fish that they like to eat. And you like a nice big black drum sandwich, which I do. They're here. So
I love me some fried black drum. You know what you could do, Chip? You could paint that fish and like put him on T-shirts and make your own T-shirts on the cheap.
It looks good, doesn't it?
Right. There you go. The sinker guy with a big black drum on it.
Yeah, turn it so it looks a little bigger, you know.
Yeah, there you go. Bubba, welcome back.
Are you still using that as far as your main bait, Chip, for the Pompano? You still using the salted clams?
Yes, sir. I really like fresh bait's always best, you know, and that's that's one of the big things for me is fresh bait. If you can take fresh bait, you got a better shot. But sometimes you just can't get it, and sometimes it's a little expensive. So I can get clams and I can get fresh bait. But I'll tell you, I fishing with Killian, those things we didn't have any trouble catching fish yesterday or 2 days ago. So that it's one of those things where if you can't salt your clams and you can't find live clams, just get on and order them, because it's too easy to just throw them on in your cooler and get rocking. So
right, that's like one of the main reasons that I went and ordered mine, is that way. Another reason I don't have to stop at the bait store. I can just head straight out to the beach and not have to deal with the crowd. And you don't have to keep in your refrigerator or nothing.
Yeah,
right, because I got some salted clams out there, and the first cast in, we got the like a little whiting, and then as soon as Louis showed up, he had the shrimp, the live shrimp, and he just cut them up, so it's fresh, dead, shrimp. And then within a minute, his first cast in, he had that reeling it in, and he was constantly back to back reeling those whiting in on those shrimp.
Let's talk about that real quick, and that's. Look, it's one thing that most people don't understand is I make great rigs, I make great sinkers, but it doesn't matter if you have bad bait. A lot of people take bad bait to the beach, and you know what? It's just not worth it. So, I think I'm still on here. I don't know what happened.
You are. I just made it, since you're the one talking. I made you full screen.
So the big thing is is if you take bad bait to the beach, you're going to catch bad fish. Not bad fish, but not as many. So Louis always shows up with the best bait. Why does Louis have a lot of the best fish? Well, number one is he's bringing fresh bait every day to the beach. He's bringing it to the pier. He's fishing fluorocarbon line. He's doing the right things. I taught him a new rig, and he's been killing it with that rig too. But it's one of those things where he always has the freshest bait. So, Mike, you probably didn't do anything wrong when you were fishing, but you didn't have the freshest bait. I take live crabs.
Yeah, he gave me some of his shrimp, and that was it. That was that was it. They were biting that shrimp.
Oh yeah, so if you're a surf fisherman and you're taking shrimp that's thawed out 4 times, you're probably not going to catch anything, and you're going to catch something. You might catch that 40-inch redfish on accident on that metal leader, but hey, it's not really common. But that's the big thing is take fresh bait, use less line. Now, Larry did a little presentation the other day, and he says he uses a 17-pound fluorocarbon leader. Yeah, I as the sinker guy love that, because a lot of people buy more sinkers, but that's not always the optimal for most people, right, Mike? A 17-pound test, you can snap that off trying to throw it as far as you can throw it. So I like that as being a business owner, but I don't like that as a real true fisherman, if that makes sense. You're gonna have to go up a little bit. And that's if you're using a 3-ounce sinker, you need to have a 30-pound shock leader. I hate to say it like that, but you're gonna break off if not, and those sinkers fly as far as you can ever imagine without any line attached. I'll just tell you that. They're beautiful.
It's funny, like y'all. Sorry. It's funny y'all are talking about the freshest live shrimp you can get and having stuff that's been frozen and thawed. Me and Bubba was talking about the other day. We're spoiled up here in Jacksonville that we have all the shrimp boats around, and you can stop and get fresh shrimp right off the shrimp boat. And I've been down to the Florida Keys, and I asked for shrimp, and they said, "How much do you want?" I said, "About 2 pounds out to do it." And they looked at me like I was crazy. So do you want 2 packs? The only way that they sell it down there is frozen shrimp or live shrimp. There's no fresh dead shrimp like we get here in Jacksonville. So to me, that was nuts. We really are spoiled here in Jacksonville as far as getting fresh seafood.
Mike, that was another question. A lot of people ask me, "Hey, where do you get your crabs at?" And I supply a lot of bait shops with sinkers, but they always get these little bitty crabs like this big, and you can get about 3 baits out of them, 4 baits out of them. I go to the local little crab shop. Man, if they're gonna cook them to eat them, guess what? I want to eat the big ones too. So I want to be able to get the biggest ones that I can get for a good price at all my local little crab house. And that's where I pick up my crabs the day before. I keep them in a cooler, put a little, keep them cool. I have a small little cooler about this big, about this wide. It fits right down in my cooler, and I put a little ice pack on top of them. I've had 6 crabs alive for 3 days. So a little hint. But those I've been stopping at a couple places, and because I want to support the local bait shop. But you got a little bitty crab that's not really usable unless you got to send it out for a big black drum, you know. So the whole thing. So
there's a bait shop I used to go to for shrimp. I'm not going to say their name, but everybody knows I go up and down Hector Drive. And their shrimp was about $5.50 a pound, $6 a pound, and the shrimp were about that big. You had to put about 3 or 4 of them on there to get them on the hook. So if anybody lives on the north side of Jacksonville around the Lim Turner area, there's a guy in Callahan. It's called the Shrimp House. And it's basically what it is somebody selling it out of the back of their house, but they're legit. They're $4 a pound, and they're large shrimp. I mean, what I do, I use them, and I can break them up into 3 pieces when I use them. And what I don't use, they're so fresh, I take home and eat myself. That, or if I don't use them all and catch, some whiting or black drum and stuff, I just cook the shrimp with the meal. As long as you keep them on ice all day, they're good for you. So, I mean, why not? I mean, you already paid $4 a pound for them. Might as well eat them too.
Absolutely. I agree.
So, Bubba, you're all right? You need another nap, man. I can see you down there in the corner.
I'm trying to rock a baby over here. I'm trying to keep her from squealing.
Yeah, I'm waiting for you to yell at us to be like, keep it down, the baby's asleep.
Nah, she's in and out over here, kind of nodding.
All right, here we go, Bubba. Now we finally got a question for us. We got Michael here. Don't know anything about saltwater fishing, just bass fish. That's what I'm talking about. What's the simple setup to go to the beach and fish? Rod, reel, line, hooks, etc. I'm guessing Mike probably doesn't want to break the bank. His first time out buying pin battles and so on for out there. I'll just tell you what I use. We'll just do we'll go around the table and see what everybody uses. I mean, of course, Chip has an extensive collection because that's what the man does. Yeah. There's a slight preview. And awesome use of storage, by the way, for all your surf rods.
Thank you.
So, okay, what I use, we were talking about this the other night. I use Hurricane rods, the Bluefin series, and I use 10-footers, and I just ordered a 9-footer. The 9-footer is for artificial and spoons. The 10-footer is what I actually throw for, setting baits. On that, I use a Cast King Centron reel, which is the black spinning reel in a 5,000 series with a 20-pound braid hooked to a 20-pound fluorocarbon leader at the end. And what I do is I do a lot of things. People usually make leaders for the size of just the rig that they're using, but I'll go and I show this to Tim, and he knows why. I'll put like 8 feet of leader line on there. That way, if something happens, I can just keep working my way up instead of having to retie the leader knot at the top. Every time I get a line twist, I cut off, I can just keep working my way up. I use the Sputnik weight for the beach, which is, if you don't know what a Sputnik weight is, it's a lead weight, but it has a whole bunch of wires. I'm sure Chip has one handy as he's getting up. And it acts like an anchor, and it hangs into the sand a whole lot better. But there's beads on the side which allow it to give away. There's a Sputnik weight right there that Chip's showing you.
Yep.
He makes his own, so if you need any, that's the man to talk to right there.
And here's a little quick note. These are superior by far. If you find one with beads, you'll lose the beads. I started that way. These are a little rollers, so they just roll off here and make it easy. And so, especially when you're pompano fishing, if it doesn't roll back, your weight jumps. And if your weight jumps, your line is loose. And pompano are infamous to get off on a loose line. So you want to make sure that it's easy to pull it in. Comes in like a torpedo, sits really well in the sand. And then when a fish bites, it comes back in, and you can just pull it right in with the surf. So that's a little bit of information to make it easier. So everybody has that spinning rod and reel that when the weight hits the pyramid sinker sticks, and then it becomes loose, and you go, oh, I just lost my biggest pompano of my life. Bad terminal tackle. That's all I can tell you. Just bad choices. So.
All right. So that's what I use there, Mike. I hope that helps. I mean, like I said, Clint is like the resident expert here out of this group. I mean, that's what the man does. So, Clint, you want to take it away?
Chip.
Or Chip,
Chip,
sorry. Why,
Chip, yeah.
why the hell I say Clint?
Yeah.
Let's change it to Clint. Who the hell's Clint?
I've been called a lot of
I was like, someone else here?
No more beverages for me.
Jeez, how many is that now, Joe? Come on now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's had about a half a beer already.
Yeah.
You know, the big thing is I like a little, I mean, the big thing is you don't have to have a long rod. You don't have to. I love the hurricane rod, the 12-foot hurricane rod. They don't make them anymore, I don't believe. If they do, I want to know about them. I have a couple of buddies that just can swing bait with them. But I'm doing a giveaway with one of the rods, and that I fish every day. But it's one of those things where everybody's a little bit different. I'm an all in or all out guy. I'm going to fish or I'm not going to fish. So some of you are like that, you know. So everybody likes what they like. I throw a bait caster because I grew up. My dad was a bass fisherman. You guys didn't know that, but he did a lot of tournaments in Iowa. So lots of nice bass caught up there, not like down here in Florida. But so I learned how to pitch jigs and things, pitch crankbaits with a bait caster. So that's what I use. My first day on the beach, I had a spinner and just tighten the drag on your spinner if you're going to throw hard. I just sent it right through my finger. Not fun with braid. So I use an Oculus reel or an Abu Garcia 6500. You can find those quite often in a lot of places. When I started a 10-foot or 11-foot surf rod, Daiwa made a great one. I had a Pin Battalion soft one. The Pin Battalion 12-foot heavy is like throwing a broomstick. You might as well just leave that one at home. That was hard to chunk, but not to be bad about Pin, but they're just heavy and they're cumbersome. I like a little lighter rod that you can actually let the rod do the work for you instead of trying to chuck bait. So, you know, I like an 11 and 12, and I have 13-6 rods when I need to be able to fish out a little bit farther. But the big thing is you don't have to break the bank. You probably have something that you have in the shop in your little garage that you could fish. But the Pin Battle is a great spinning rod, spinning reel. I know Cast Kings make some great reels too. Haven't been able to get in with those and fish those yet. I think Mike could probably tell you a little bit more about those. But you know, it's one of those things where I like a little longer rod. So some people are like, I'm going to just buy a 10-foot rod. I'm like, just buy the 12-footer and learn how to throw it, because if you need to throw short, you can. If the fish are farther out, you'll never get to them on a 10-footer. And I don't encourage people to walk in the water. There's some. I got caught one time early in my years of a nice little 6-7 foot black tip in between me and the beach, waist deep. I wasn't very happy about it. I don't go any more than calf deep anymore. So that's why I buy longer rods. That was a scary moment for me that day.
Yeah, I'd say so. We got a quick question real quick. So Joe or Tim, you definitely can't answer this question. Any luck?
You don't even live here anymore.
Any luck on the Swanee or Santa Fe since the water level has risen? Been cranking and jigging, but not a whole lot of success here lately.
I don't even go to the school anymore, so I couldn't even answer that.
Bad chicken. To be honest with you, me, Tim, and Bubba haven't been since, what was that? Probably November?
Was it really that long ago?
I think it was. We haven't been since the wintertime, so I haven't fished it since it's risen, but me and Bubba are going to be going back. Cranking has been really the only success that we've had fishing there for Swanee bass. And you got to get a crankbait like a 3XD, something that'll go down like 10 to 13 feet. That is a deep river, and you got to be crunching on those rocks in order to get the attention of those Swanees when you go through there. Crankbait, it's only going to go to 6 to 7. It's not really going to cut it. They're going to get down. They're deep. They're in those rock crevices. 1 to get out of the current, and 2 they're looking for food.
Yeah, and if you want to go there to catch a Swanee bass, use whatever Joe or Bubba's using. And if you want to keep catching just regular largemouth bass, just use whatever I'm using.
All right, I'm gonna go say almost the exact opposite of what Joe said there. Other than cranking, now he's right on that. I've had pretty good success with one that dives like 7-8 foot. But yeah, you want to crank those big cuts in the rocks. Now, neither one of these two jokers have put up with enough of the like pitch and flipping crawls to do it. But the first time we went out there, specifically targeting Swanee bass, that's all I did was throw little soft plastic crawl looking baits. And then the last time we were out there, I did it again. I caught one on, a little crawl in one of those deep cuts like that. The consistent bite for sure has been cranking pretty deep stuff on the rocks. But I've done it with one that dives like 7-8. The 10XDs seem to be the money ticket, though.
Whoa.
Now
a 10XD, you're catching a world record Swanee on a 10XD.
Sorry, I was
that's the size of this beer can.
I think you mean a 3XD. A 3XD.
Sorry, 3XDs in ghost crawl color. Isn't that what the one that we always use is ghost crawl, right?
It depends on the situation. When the water's clear in Santa Fe, you use what they call the phantom green crawl color.
Okay.
Which is like a translucent. With that clear water, they can really see the details in it, and that's why you have to use a fluorocarbon line as well, or at least a fluorocarbon leader one. Yeah. Now, when the river water overtakes the spring water and it turns that classic Florida tannic, then you have to get more orange and bright colors for them to be able to see it. That seems to work better. When you use the translucent colors, I can't see it as well, so you got to use the brighter oranges, like the traditional, crawfish color pattern crankbaits, the reds, orange, stuff like that.
The real tension game with BB cricket, that's a go-to for anything that you're trying to imitate crawls with. It's a fantastic, crawl style kind of bait there. I've had really good success out there with a crazy leg chigger crawl. That was when I don't know, for whatever reason out there, you get picked apart with the little kind of tendrils on it by bluegill and stuff, but it's got some big flappers to it and it stinks like crawfish real bad. Like I remelted some one time for some hand pours in the house, and Mrs. Bubba was like, "What is that smell?" So it's got a real good crawfish smell to it. But crazy leg sugar crawls, try those out sometime too.
You mean it don't smell like pickles, like gamblers' baits?
No, that thing smells like you left a couple crawfish in the back of your truck for a few days.
Yeah. We got
had some luck with Ned Rigs too. Ned Rigs work pretty good.
Yeah. Over in the comments section, we got Jesse with Slot City Fishing. A lot of you guys know Slot City Fishing and are on his Facebook page. Jesse's over there in the comments. He's more than happy to answer any of your questions that you have specifically for him. And we're awesome to have him with us. He's got a lot going on, or else he would be on Bait Shop Talk tonight. But he's got a lot of stuff going on with his work. So we're kind of letting him take care of business. And we're doing pretty good so far. We're getting a lot covered. Guys, we really appreciate everybody over there in the chat talking, asking questions. This is what keeps this show going. We love answering questions. And, then we kind of go off on a tangent on that specific thing. Me and Bubba love hearing the bass fishing questions. And, of course, Tim loves hearing questions in general. I mean, if you got any questions about why not to go to California, he can answer those. And then we got Mike with inshore, and we got Chip with the surf fishing. So if you got any questions, we pretty much got you covered.
It is 7:45, and we have not seriously talked about that trip on Rodman yet. Come on, man.
Okay, so Bubba wants to go into the Rodman trip. Guys, you're a little too late on the if you haven't fished the drawdown on Rodman. What happens every 3 or 4 years, Rodman Reservoir, they draw the whole reservoir down to the original river that used to be the Akawaha channel. And they draw it down to that to help kill off like a lot of the hydrilla and stuff like that, and basically just kind of do maintenance. So during that time, it concentrates all those fish into that creek channel and bunches them up there, and fishing is spectacular. And there's a lot of big fish there that can be had. And a lot of wildlife. We saw, it was just a great day all around. It was 90% rain, so it kept everybody off the water. Me and Bubba are like, come hell or high water, we're going bass fishing at Rodman. So we went. He started throwing, if you haven't seen the video, he started throwing a spinner bait. He caught 2, and he ended up loosening his spinner bait to a gar. Of course, love taking spinner baits. And then, so I turned to my old faithful. I went with the green pumpkin jackhammer, and it was game on after that. Sadly, Bubba didn't have any of his own, so he had to lease/borrow one from me, and so it was after that. And I've caught 10 bass, and out of the 10, only 2 of them were less than 3 pounds. And Bubba, like in true Bubba fashion, it right there at the end, caught the biggest bass of the day, which weighed 6 pounds, and looked like she swallowed a whole bunch of softballs. Her stomach was so big. So I mean, it was just a fantastic day. And when the chatterbait the chatterbait bite died off, we went to flipping worms, our second go-to, and we started even catching them on that. Chris was with us. If you guys watch my videos, you know Chris. He was in the Bass Club with me. Right now, he's currently attending school to be a marine mechanic, be an outboard mechanic down in Central Florida. He was catching them a different way. He was going through and punching the pennywort mats, and said he was doing good. He wasn't catching the size of the bass that we were getting, but he was getting a lot of bass, just as many as we were too. Bubba, you sound like you wanted to say something.
Yeah, one of the things that we've talked about on here before was the thunder cricket versus the chatterbait. You know, because thunder cricket's one of the, I guess, probably the biggest rival as far as bladed jigs go to the chatterbait. They actually licensed the line tie from Z-Man, so they're working under the Z-Man patent on it. I got one of those from Joe and started throwing it around, and I didn't last like 15 minutes with it. Not a fan at all. I'd rather throw the original chatterbait over that. Jackhammer's king. But yeah, I'm not a fan of the thunder cricket. But yeah, like Joe was saying, it was fantastic back all the way around. But if you'd have took our 5 best apiece, Joe probably had a 23-pound bag, and I probably had a 20-pound bag. It was insane.
Yeah, it was definitely a great day. But the reason I said guys are a little too late because they've already started the refilling process, and they're starting in around mid-April. It should be back to full pool, and then you'll have back access again to go fish it. So we're definitely we're looking forward to that. If you haven't seen, we're looking for a new pet to put in the 125-gallon aquarium. Not this one. This is where the fancy pets live in the house because everybody knows what a goldfish is. But Steve and Big Red are going to be getting a new roommate, and we're going to go out and catch warmouth. I've already caught a couple, but I want to make a video specifically going out and catching a new pet to put in the 125-gallon aquarium to add with Steve and Big Red. And if you're not following me on Facebook and Instagram, you should, because you get to see live feeding. Sometimes I don't make a whole video just feeding them. I got to feed them because they're hungry. And I take little short videos, and I put them up there on Instagram and Facebook. So you guys want to check that out, head over to Densmore Outdoors on Facebook or Densmore Outdoors on Instagram so you can see those. And for some reason, Mike, I don't know what Jesse's got on you. I don't know what's up with that.
He just wants to make sure he's safe, man.
I see it.
I think that's what it is, guys. Everybody say a prayer for Mike. He's in the health service industry, and so he's getting to deal with all the crazies who think they got the coronavirus.
Yeah,
and if you just joined, I'm sorry, Mike.
That's all good.
All right, if you just joined,
some people don't know I work in the critical care unit, so I do see some pretty sick patients.
What the hell? Real attention to say? Something about a war thug. I just called the perfect war thug for the tank the other day during the Kings Ferry Brim tournament. Yes, I heard about that. I heard they had a Brim tournament out of Kings Ferry. Sadly, I didn't add to it. Who do I start a bass tank?
I don't know what that means either.
I think Jesse meant to say, how do I start a bass tank?
I don't know if that was on purpose, reeling, but I'm stealing that. I'm gonna start calling them jokers war thugs from now.
Wow, I like that. But guys, like I said, if you just now joined here late in the chat, we're doing a giveaway tonight. We're going to ask a trivia question here in about 5 or 6 minutes, and we're going to give away some baits. We got some Havoc baits. We got like a crawl/creature bait, and we got a finesse worm and a Yozuri lipless crankbait. It's chrome with a green back.
You want that, trust me.
Yeah, you want that, trust me. Okay, so Jesse asked, how do I start a bass tank? All right, so first you're going to want a tank, obviously. It depends how long you want to keep one. Go ahead.
You need water in there.
Yeah, you got to have water. Water is very important.
Wait, does it come with a lid?
I don't know. Mine doesn't. Well, Like this one doesn't have a lid. The one behind me, it's just got lights over the top of it. It's probably for bass to be better to have a lid. But anyway, okay. So, all seriousness, if you want to have a pet bass, 55 gallons at a minimum. And even then, if you get a largemouth, they can outgrow that. I mean, you don't want to keep a 3 or 4 pound largemouth in a 55-gallon tank. That's just inhumane. They got to have room. My bass is a Swanee bass. You guys don't know, his name is Steve. And the reason I chose a Swanee bass because, one, there's no Swanee bass on YouTube, and I wanted to be unique. 2, they're only native to Florida. And 3, the world record is only 3 pounds, so I knew he wasn't going to get that big. So I have him in a 125-gallon aquarium. That way he's got plenty of room. He's got a roommate who's a red breast named Big Red, who I caught the same day on the same crankbait. So I figured, why not? Let's throw him in there too. That was a good video. I try to keep it as natural as I can. Like I plant natural live grass in there, big rocks, boulders, things that they're in their natural environment. If you can get some driftwood, put that in there. But the biggest thing is they eat. You have to feed them. Yeah, I feed Steve probably like every 3 days. I mean, because if you do it, you can't do it every day because they're bass. They don't eat every single day. He'll eat like 6 shiners out of the dozen right off the bat, and then he won't eat any more for about a day or 2. So you got to feed them. You got to have a source to get them food, be it a minnow trap or going to the bait store or something like that. Or also I have worms that I keep in a little worm box underneath where they live, just as a backup, because they'll eat worms. I mean, everything eats worms in freshwater, damn near. So that's what I use, and you have to do. It's a lot of maintenance. You have to have a good filter. You have to do water changes, and you got to keep when it's wintertime, since he's out in the garage, I got to keep a water heater in there too. Anybody else got any pets other than like the common ones? I know Bubba's got like a giant sheepdog thing.
I got a ball python.
Oh yeah, that's right. You got the nope rope. I don't like that thing.
Yeah, I got a ball python and a obese cat.
Yes. Oh my God, he's got Garfield but gray.
Yeah.
Mike says, "Where do you guys think is the best place to go bass fishing closest to our area?" You're going to get different answers from everyone here on that.
It's going to change seasonally, honestly.
Not mine.
You know, it's really going to change seasonally. Like I'm partial to a lot of the like tributaries and creeks off the St. John's myself. The farther south you can go, the better. If I remember correctly, I think you were near the Orange Park area. Man, you pick a creek off of Orange Park that's not connected to Dr. Lake, you're probably going to do pretty good. Black Creek's great. Dewandon Creek can be awesome because it's lined with lily pads all over the place. Any of those small little creeks or canals anywhere through there is local to you. That, if I remember right, man, that's what I'm partial to. Now, if you've got the electronics, the know-how, and a friend that can tell you how to find them, shell bars in the main river, you cannot go wrong. You know, start hitting shell bars and find out if they're on them or not. That's the money ticket for big bass.
I don't know if I'd go in Black Creek because I've never caught much in Black Creek, but now you have it's spring break and you have a bunch of people out there drinking and skiing and jet skiers, and there's a bunch of
you'll get a lot of
just a lot of commotion out there on the water,
and it's extended spring break too.
Yeah,
so even better. Like any canal that you can find or creek off the St. John's River, because the spawn's going on right now, especially that we finally got some consistent warm weather. They're moving into those canals. Every the tournament that me and Bubba fished and the one I fished after, they were one in canals.
Yeah.
18 and 20 pound bags they were caught all in canals on the St. John's River. So they're pushing up in there to spawn. So that's your go-to place for catching bass right now. All right, Real Intentions wanting to know how the bass coming in my pond. They're doing pretty good. I actually went and tried to get some shad. I didn't end up with that many, but I still gave them what I could. I got to put a couple dozen shad in there so that I fatten them up for the spawn. They haven't fully committed to spawning yet. There's a couple of beds. There's like 3 or 4, but usually when the magic moment hits, I'll go out there one day and there'll just be like 12 beds, 12, 15 bass sitting on beds out there in the pond. They'll just invade the shallows, but they're starting to be active. They're moving up out of the deep water, and they're starting to just go around and roam around the shallow banks. Either they're looking for places to spawn, and they're looking to feed up to get ready to spawn. So that's what's kind of nice about having a backyard pond. I can go out there and kind of forecast how the bite's going to be by how they're doing. So it's kind of cheating in a way. Let's see here. Slot City, what's the reports surf looks like? It's popping off. Yeah, you just missed that, Jesse. We were going off. Like I said, Chip went out there and caught some black drum today. So it's definitely this. He said it's on fire. If you can get out to the beach.
Starting from this past Thursday, or actually Wednesday, late Wednesday and Thursday, that pressure dropped really quick, and everybody was on that. They're on that whiting Thursday, and of course we're out there Friday, and all throughout these past couple of days, they've been on them.
Yeah, I mean,
can I say something about that pressure drop?
Go ahead.
Fish before the big storms. I caught that 17-inch pompano 2 weeks ago, the day before the big storm. Watch the pressure. If it's going to drop, you'll see it. Get out there and get fishing. Even if you get it done at 5 o'clock, just go fish. There's going to be fish out there that are wanting to bite, and that's I say that as just to encourage people. That it might be a big surf, but if you're going to surf fish, and there's going to be a big bite if that storm's coming and that pressure drops, those fish are going to get hungry, and you just might as well fill your cooler. You just never know. It's like grocery shopping for free right there. So that's all I got to really say about that.
We're big believers in it. Just seeing it firsthand. There's a lot of, just for I guess you guys that may not know, you can pull up on any kind of website or anything too. But newer phones a lot of times come with like a barometer kind of. It goes off if it's a waterproof phone. It's going to measure the pressure on that, and there's apps that you can get that will actually use your phone as a barometer, because it's that they use that waterproof seal to measure the pressure on it, so you can actually watch it real time off your phone versus having to go to a website or whatever every time. The one that I use is called Barometer Reborn, and you can set alerts. Yep, Joe's got the same one there, and you can set alerts for it too. Like if you set it to specific pressure or specific changes, and it'll ding your phone to let you know, oh shoot, I need to drop what I'm doing and go fish. But that's kind of handy that we never had before, where you used to back in the day, you'd have to kind of keep an eye on it and check the weather before you head out. But now you can watch it real time through stuff like apps, and if you've got a waterproof phone, then it makes it even that much easier.
Oh, Bad Chip said, how's the toilet paper situation on your rigs? Bubba knows firsthand. I have some pristine, like new old stock Scott's toilet paper on my bass boat at all times. It also doubles as a bandage as well.
Yep.
Oh, you guys got to invest in wet wipes. That's the way to go.
Oh, I do have some combat wipes in the console.
Good. I was gonna say, don't be dissing on without that stuff. You need that.
Chip is hardcore. He just uses the sand from the beach.
Oh man, it'll get off there. I promise. You know why? It's kind of funny that you said that. It's my wife, and she's not here right now, so I can say this, but she says, "Oh, I got some toilet paper coming." I said, "Oh, okay." They're the moist, flushable ones, So I'm like, "Oh yeah, this is going to be wonderful," because we don't really need the moist ones as men. But
yeah,
I'm just saying. But I have a set here in the garage right now, just in case.
Well, you can spoil yourself one day there, Chip, just to kind of venture and explore a little bit. So Mike says, how much weight do you recommend for beach fishing? My son's wanting to do it. If this question came through early, and sorry, my phone's dead.
Mike, do you want to cover, or you want me to cover on that?
No, that's Chip all day right there.
I mean, you are the sinker man.
He literally goes by the sinker guy. So
the big thing is everybody wants to throw something heavy, and I don't understand it. I want to make sure the rod bends, and I make a 2-ounce sinker. Only reason I got a 2-ounce mold is when I want to chuck a mullet a long ways into what I call the superhighway, the ocean superhighway where all the fish run. I put a mullet and a 2-ounce weight and I just sling the heck out of it, because there's nothing worse than swinging an 8-ounce mullet with a 4-ounce sinker and then it not going about 30 yards. So I always say you need the rod. You need to look at your rod, whatever it throws best at. Now I'm going to do a little quick demonstration, but I was on the beach today and I helped 5 guys how to cast. If you're left-handed, you're right-handed and you throw over top. If your left hand is weak and you just go like this, it doesn't go. Bend the rod. Pull your left hand so the rod will bend, and that'll make it'll make the sinker go a lot farther for you. But the big thing is what size rod what size sinker will your rod throw? Don't get into, I need a 5-ounce sinker because I think it's going to hold. The sinker sinkers, a 2-ounce hold will hold just as well as a 5. It's all about the tension. If you squeeze it tighter, it'll hold better. So the big thing is what size sinker will your rod throw? I throw a 4 on some and a 5 on some. Yes, sir.
I got a question for you. You tell me if I'm on the right track here, because granted, I do a whole lot of surf fishing. I used to when I was a kid. I always kind of tend to go the lightest you can get away with. Is that right?
Oh, absolutely. Why make it hard?
Right.
And that's the trouble. Most people can't cast very far because they put too big of a weight on it.
Right.
So if you have a 7 or 8 foot rod, throw a 2, get a 3, and just see how far you can throw it. You'd be really surprised how far a 7-foot rod can throw a 2-ounce Sputnik. So you don't have to have the big 13-foot rods to be able to surf fish. So I say that is whatever rod. If you're not for sure, a 10-foot rod, I usually say a 3. Anything under that, a 2 or a 3. A 12-foot rod, typically you can throw a 4-ounce sinker with. A 13-foot rod most of the time will hold a 4-ounce or a 5-ounce sinker. But that's just a little bit of information. It's all about the rod. It has nothing to do with the weight of the sinker. It's about how it loads so you can throw it the best. And that's the biggest thing. And remember, my biggest redfish from the surf is 47 inches, and it was at right over the first break, which was probably 12 yards. So not very far. So that was a fun fight with a nice 12-foot, nice bendy rod, my weakest rod. But that's something to think about, is you don't have to have a lot of weight to throw it where it needs to be. So hopefully it helps.
All right, so it's trivia time. So here's the question. Who wants to win some baits? Okay, so here's the trivia question. If you can name what bait me and Bubba both caught our personal best bass on, the largest bass we ever caught in our life, answer it over in the comments, over here in the live feed, and you get to win all these baits.
2 11-pounders.
Yeah, Chip's giving you a hint. It was not a mirror lure. I can tell you that.
Do we have to? Do we want to include color on it?
No. We'll just go with the general of what it was.
Like, that's pretty messed up. You did that. Oh, Mike answered.
Tim, don't freaking give away the answer.
I can't. Michael already did it.
You already got it.
Dude, where? I don't see it.
Yeah. Mike got it.
I don't see it on my feed.
Michael Leach.
Got it.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I see it now. It just came up.
Yep, he got it.
Oh, real intention. I'm guessing not a Cinco.
I swear, I didn't tell him the answer. I swear.
I have caught some big ones on Cincos, but not a double digit.
Not a double digit. Mike got it. See, that shows you who watches our bass fishing videos right there. All right, so Michael, here's what I need you to do, man. Send me an email to dinsmoreoutdoors@gmail.com or via Dinsmore Outdoors on Facebook, just with your address and stuff, or whatever address you want these baits sent to. And I'll get these baits out to you, man, as soon as I can. I actually have to go to the post office here soon anyway. So while I'm there, I'll drop these off. So head over to Dinsmore Outdoors on Facebook, or like I said, dinsmoreoutdoors@gmail.com, and I'll get those baits out to you with as soon as I get your information. So congratulations to Michael.
Good job, man.
Real quick, like I said, let's see if we hit 5,000. I was like only 6 away when we started this. Let's see if we're there. And slow computer. Oh no, we're 5 away. So we got 1. Really, guys?
1 subscriber as well, since we've been on this thing.
I need 5 subscribers, guys, and we can do a Hellacious 5,000 subscriber giveaway. So if you haven't already, which I'm pretty sure the only people that really join the Space Shot Talk are the hardcore subscribers anyway, head on over there and subscribe to Dinsmore Outdoors so we can start that giveaway. Real time, what time do you guys start this podcast? Well, you always start at 7 o'clock Eastern time, 7 p.m. Eastern time, 1900 for military folks or anyone who's on 24-hour time.
Or if you're out here in California, 4 o'clock.
Yeah, so if you're out there in California in Timmy's neck of the woods, 4 o'clock. So we thank you guys for joining us. We're going to call it a night. Everybody knows some of us have to go and get ready to go to work tomorrow, and we're going to wrap things up. So we thank you always for joining us. We love doing Bait Shot Talk. We love talking to y'all and interacting. So we hope to see you on the next one. Sorry, we're so far and few between, but it's really hard to get everybody's schedules to match up because not everybody has a weekend off or they got family obligations or something. So we try to do this as often as we can. And the more Bait Shot boys we get, the more Bait Shot Talks we can do. So thank you very much. I'm Joe with Dinsmore Outdoors. We got Timmy with Kidwell Outdoors. We got Chip, the sinker guy, Bubba Outdoors, and of course, Mike with Get Out the House, Go Fish.
Don't forget Baby Bubba.
Yeah, and we got Bubette over there. But you got to remember, when you say Get Out the House, Go Fish, you got to whisper it like this. Get out the house, go fish. I don't know why. This sounds better that way. All right. Y'all have a good night. Take care. Goodbye.
See you.
Oh. All right.